Peace in, peeps! What big pile of shift are we going to dig into today? I'm Steph, and welcome to Steph's Shift Show, the place where headlines meet the heart, where heroes remind us what's possible. Here we uncover hidden biases, call out broken systems, and shine light on bold solutions. Because shifting the conversation is how we build better people, stronger communities, and lasting personal peace. Peace in, peeps. I'm Steph. Thanks for joining me. We're going to shift today around another 4-letter word, very appropriate for this season. So this episode's going to come out around Thanksgiving and Christmas in 2025. And the word is give. We're going to shift the way we are showing up as givers. And I want you to think about this for yourself and where you are on your generosity with your time, money, energy, and effort to others, to self, to your purpose, to your clarity of values and vision for your life, to the people that matter most. And then all the other chaos and stress and overwhelm and projects and people. So let's think how we're going to talk through give and why shifting the way we think about ourselves and our giving to others. To, of course, be intentional, to create days with more yays and less yucks. That's what I'm here for. I want to give you short little snippet, quick ways to use your brain to not default into our broken systems or our limited beliefs or the biases of our cultures or our systems, and use your own wisdom and self to assess your own life, to creating yays, less yucks. Here's where this comes up with give, because it's just going to be the exhaustion of being good. Is that a real thing? Do any of you feel drained by giving? Always someone needing you and you going, sure, I'll help. Yep, I got this. Of course I'll be there. Count me in. Sure, I can take that off your plate. Yep, I can do that. And of course, giving and good and being available and helping others is important. But let's dig in more to make sure that maybe we don't need to shift out of giving in a way that's depleting instead of giving in a way that's filling. And did you know that there's a difference? And you probably did, but today's episode is just going to give you guys a reminder of why it's important, how and where it may show up. And then, of course, getting intentional. That's what we're here to do. So, somewhere along the way, as we give and give and give, sometimes it stops being about love and it starts being more like a slow leak of your soul. Like, it's just what I do. I'm just always helping others. I'm always saying yes to everything. Perhaps a little people pleasing. And often people are doing it in belief that they are protecting their own peace. I'm just going to say yes, I'm going to help. So that's understandable. But sometimes you've been giving from a place of maybe pressure, of guilt, maybe of performance, and it is truly costing you. And it's costing you your peace. And I'm a personal peace strategist, and I don't believe that in order for you to give, you have to sacrifice your peace. What if we can do both? So, by the end of this episode, you are going to know the difference between giving out of generosity that fuels you versus giving that drains you. And maybe think of an experience where you're like, yep, I said yes, I did it, but I helped. Versus a time when you gave out of just generosity and joy and purpose. It matters. So let's just start with something that, we've all been taught. Giving is good, right? Of course. We give until we're empty, though, so often. And then we keep giving more. Do any of you ever just feel empty? And you keep giving. You need more rest. You'd like to take advantage of like a little time to recover. Maybe eat an actual lunch over lunch break. Lunch break? What's even that? I don't even take that. Okay. Giving isn't the problem. Lots of times it's the motive behind it. What is the motive behind our giving? So when we give from a place of peace, we give a place from joy, we give a place from like overflow, it is generosity. It's life-giving and it connects us with others and it connects us with ourself, our soul. And it often will it expand your sense of your purpose. Like in the moment, in what you're doing, in what you can contribute for others. But when you give from guilt, when you give from obligation, when you give even for like fear of disappointing someone, do you ever give because if you don't, you're going to disappoint someone? That's not generosity. That's more self-abandonment. Psychologists have a name for this, and it's empathetic distress. Okay? It's when helping others does not bring you joy, but it triggers exhaustion. It triggers resentment. It triggers you being just depleted. And then this is where we've blurred the line between compassion and codependency. We're just going to keep it simple. This is Steph Shift Show. You can dive in deeper with a therapist or other content if you want to get all deep into codependency. But we're just going to keep it simple and think about empathetic distress. Sounds like something that might be a yuck. And I'm not here to add yucks to my life. I'm here to create days with more yays and less yucks. So let's think about this. Research backs this up. So according to the American Psychological Association, more than 60% of burnout cases stem from emotional over-exhaustion, and not just at work, but at home, at parenting, relationships, families, definitely during the holidays. And of course, like even in friendships. So the irony is most people who overgive do so because they want peace. But they think if I just help them, if I just say yes, if I just keep the peace, everything will be fine. But let's dig in to why you might be giving from a place of exhaustion and emptiness and how that is affecting you instead of truly growing who you are and expanding by giving out of generosity and joy and peace. It feels different for you and it feels different for others. So I had an episode earlier about things that are caught, not taught. If you are a parent, if you are a preacher, if you are a teacher, if you are a mentor of anyone, and here's the thing, you all are influencers, unless you're on a deserted island all alone, you are creating a ripple effect. And so giving out of exhaustion is not a badge of honor that other people are paying attention to. They're looking at you going, bruh, chill out. You're not the only one that can do everything. And why don't you go fill up your own tank first? Give to yourself before you keep giving to work, to family, to relationships, to others. Because then when you're ready to, and then when you have the time and your fuel tank is full, that is a very different gift to yourself and to others. My personal experience with overgiving was within a workspace where I had a lot of roles and responsibilities and made myself very available to a large number of people in all time zones for pretty much any questions, any challenges. Hey, could we, what do you think on this? What do you think on that? And I became the go-to person. And so I just kept giving and giving and giving and giving. And I was exhausted. And I for sure was being driven by ego, by performance, by I got all these answers. I can be valuable. I can be seen as valuable. And I see how it depleted me, how it contributed to my drinking, how it contributed to my body just holding on to excess weight, my bad sleep, even my performance. So I don't know if that's ever been you. And in hindsight, I get to look back and learn from that time in my life where I just gave. And I can recognize where the ego came in. I can recognize where I want people to see me and believe in me and appreciate me. So I don't know if that resonates with any of you, but how could we do it maybe differently? Studies of altruism really reveal that something, quite fascinating. When we do give from joy, when we give from peace and love, it does actually boost your well-being. But when it comes from obligation, guilt, fear, ego, it drains you and it depletes you. And it leads to what researchers call compassion fatigue. Think if that resonates for you and if you've ever experienced compassion fatigue. But it doesn't mean you have to stop caring. It doesn't mean stop giving. It doesn't mean stop saying yes and contributing. But it just is unsustainable, you guys, and the pressure that comes with it. So, 2 questions I want you to ask yourself about your giving. One, is my giving about connection or is my giving about control? Right? Like, are you giving because you genuinely want to contribute? Are you giving because you think you're supposed to? Because that's the response people expect from you. Okay? You don't need to manipulate your giving like it's kindness. It's okay to just ask yourself, am I giving out of connection or am I giving out of control? The second question is my giving from my overflow or from my exhaustion? So am I giving from a full cup? Or because I'm just so exhausted, I'm always available. I'm going to help, of course. I'm going to show up. I'm going to give. But then I'm depleting. And the way I give and the way I feel, it's also teaching people that I don't protect my peace. And that maybe my people pleasing, maybe my giving to others out of guilt really isn't helping them either. Instead, it's teaching them that peace doesn't matter to me. And if it's a young person or a colleague that you mentor or believes in you, you're teaching them that same thing too. Remember, we all have these ripple effects. So keep that in mind on where it's coming from. And then I would love to give you guys a really simple way to use like a portion of my peace in, poisons out method. One part of that system is our circles of intention. And so I want to gift you the circles of intention with your giving and assess your giving, because these circles of intention, honestly, they deserve different giving levels from you. First, your inner circle. These are people who fuel your peace. They are there for you. They support you. They love you. They respect your boundaries and they respect your time. They celebrate your growth. You're safe with them. Okay, that's your inner circle. Circle number 2 is like your middle circle. Lots of times these are, your colleagues, your acquaintances, your not as close friends, maybe your neighbors, but like you can give there and it's intentional and these people honor and respect you. And it's generally a positive grouping, but sometimes it's not reciprocal and it's definitely not as deep. That's circle number 2. Circle number 3 is your outer circle. People who drain you, who have a lot of demands on you without giving back. Okay, so basically they're just your poisons and we want to spend as little time, energy, money, and effort there as possible. These people are lots of times ungrateful, unappreciative. So that's circle number 3. What often happens when we give out of drained energy and we're over givers, lots of times it goes to circle number 3. Studies have shown we give more to the people we want to really help. We want to uplift them. We want to support them. Pause. Circle number 1 is sacrificing when we're giving most to circle number 3. Circle number 1 are our peace peeps, and they deserve you. And they deserve you to show up and be able to give to them out of love and generosity and joy and peace. So I want you to shift your thinking around your giving this season and how you're motivated to give, how much fuel is in your tank to give in the first place, and focus on that first circle. That's where most of your time, money, energy, effort you're giving, they deserve it. So thank you for giving this episode a listen and give it some thought, especially around this season when we can all be over generous, and make sure that you are still living intentionally today. You are creating more yays and less yucks. And your giving is filling you up and others. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace in, peeps. I believe in you. Go be a good giver to self and others. The others that are counting on you, that are deserving of you. You've got this. Have an awesome day. Peace in, peeps. Thanks for joining us today on Steph's Shift Show. If today's conversation sparked a thought, a laugh, or a shift in perspective, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your circle. Together, we can shift the story, build better people, and create more personal peace. Peace in, peeps. See you next time.